Hello students, good morning. How are you all? I hope all of you are fine. I welcome you in the chemistry class of class 7 and 8. We have started with the first chapter, matter. We have covered some topics like definition of matter, composition of matter, states of matter. Then with an example of an experiment, how to prove that matter has mass and occupy space. These all things we have covered, but in my second video there was little bit problem in the picture clarity. So from the second part of the video I have selected some important topic once again for you to explain it clearly. So let us start with the topic. Okay, the topic is comparison of characteristics of matter. As you know, there is mainly three states of matter, and these all three states of matter has some specific characteristics. So what is the difference between the characteristics or comparison in the characteristics of the solid, liquid and gases? So as per you see, the first one I have taken it mass. First characteristics, mass. All of you know what is mass? Mass is the quantity of matter. So we know the definition. All the three states of matter has mass. So I have just written in short: solid has mass, liquid has mass, gas also has mass, because all these three are states of matter. And we have studied the definition. Anything that has mass, matter has mass. Now let us see the second characteristics, shape. As you see the shape, solid has definite shape, because in solid the molecules are tightly packed. They are very close to each other, and as they are very close, very tightly packed, they give a fixed shape. The solid has definite shape or fixed shape, but liquid does not have definite shape. In the liquid, the molecules are apart from each other. I have told you about the intermolecular space in the liquid. It is quite far, as molecules in the liquid is quite far away from each other. So the molecules of liquid can move here and there. They can slide over one another, and for this reason they do not give a fixed shape. They take the shape of the container in which it is kept. If you keep 1 liter water in a jug, it will take the shape of the jug. If you keep the same water in the bottle, it will take the shape of the bottle. In this way we can say liquid does not have fixed shape. Same if you come to the gases also do not have fixed shape, because in gases the molecules are very far away from each other. Their intermolecular space is highest, and for this reason they do not have fixed space, because they move randomly here and there. Now come to the volume. The next characteristics is the volume. Solid has definite volume, but liquid does not have definite. Liquid has definite volume. Solid also has definite volume. Liquid also has definite volume. How? Suppose if you take 1 liter of water in a jug, it will remain 1 liter. If you pour the same that 1 liter of water into a bottle, then also the volume of water will remain same. Though its shape will change, but volume will not change. Same that 1 liter, if you pour in a pan, it will remain 1 liter only. So volume of liquid is fixed. Volume of solid is fixed. But when you come to the gas, it has indefinite volume. It occupies the whole space available to them. If you take 1 liter of gas in a jar, in a container, and pour in a small container, suppose it is a container of 5 liter, and if you pour 1 liter, if you take 1 liter of gas, it will cover the whole space occupied for it. But the same 1 liter of gas or 1 kg, if you transfer it into a container of 20 liter, the gas will occupy the whole space, whole volume of that big container. In this way we can say that gas do not have definite volume. Okay? So volume, solid has definite volume, liquid has definite volume, but gas do not have definite volume. They have indefinite volume. Next characteristics is density. Density is the mass per volume. Mass is the amount of matter contained in a body. More the mass, more will be the density. Okay? So if you see in the solid has the highest density, because per unit area or per unit volume, number of molecules in solid will be very high. As for this reason, the mass of the solid will be more, and thus its density will be high. The solid has highest density. But if you come in the liquid, as I told you, in the liquid the intermolecular space is more. Per unit volume, the number of molecules in liquid is less, and if number of molecules will be less, mass will be less, so its density will be less. So liquid has less density as comparing to the solid. Now if you come to the gases, in gases molecules are very far from each other, intermolecular space is high, so per unit volume the number of molecules in gases will be very less, and as the number of molecules will be less, mass will be also very less, so its density will be also less. So gas have the least density. Gas have the least density. So once again I say you, density, solid has the highest density because per unit area, per unit volume it has the large number of molecules. Liquid has less density and gas has the least density. Now come to the next topic, compressibility, compression. So as you see, solid cannot be compressed. Why? Because in solid, molecules are tightly packed, they are very close to each other. Intermolecular space is almost negligible, and as there is no space, you cannot compress it. Thus, we can say solid cannot be compressed. But if you come in the liquid, in liquid as intermolecular space is more comparing to the solid, it has little bit space, so these molecules in the liquids can be slightly compressed. You can do this experiment with the help of a syringe. Take a syringe, remove the needle of the syringe, just fill it with water. Now close the mouth of the syringe and press the piston from the back side. You will see slightly the piston in the syringe having the water will be compressed. Why? Because it has some intermolecular space. Now if you come in the gases, molecules are very far from each other, and as intermolecular space is high, it is highly compressible. It is highly compressible. Simple experiment, same you can do with the help of this syringe. Take the syringe, remove the needle, don't take anything, just to press the piston upward, it will suck the air in it. Now close the mouth of the syringe and now press the piston, it will be highly compressed. That means air is a gas and gases are highly compressible. Gases are highly compressible. So in this way, these are some characteristics of these three states of matter and their difference. Now some more characteristics. Okay, let me write. Okay, now see the next characteristics, that is free surface. Free surface means the surface that you can touch. Okay, so in solid you can touch it from any side. If you take a piece of a stone, you can touch from any sides. So solid has any number of free surfaces. But if you take a liquid, take a water, suppose example, take a water in a glass. From how many sides you can touch? Just only the upper surface which is open. Okay, so liquid has only one free surface, whereas gases, it cannot be touched from any sides. So gases have no free surfaces. Now diffusion. Diffuse means to mix among each other. Diffuse means to mix among each other. So if you see the solid, if you keep two different solids, three different solids together, they will not mix among each other itself because they do not have intermolecular space. Solid cannot diffuse among each other. But if you see the liquid can diffuse, but only those liquids which are miscible, that can mix among each other, like water and milk, it can mix among each other. Then come to gas. Gases are easily diffusible. Any number of gases can diffuse among each other. For example, suppose when you burn a incense sticks in a room, and if you sit on the other corner of a room, you get the good smell of that incense sticks. Or when you use a perfume, a person using the perfume and another person apart from him get the smell. How it is possible? This is perfume in the form of gas mixes into the air, and with the help of air it flows from one place to another. So in this way we can say the gases can easily diffuse among each other. So solid cannot diffuse, liquid can diffuse, All that is on the miscible liquids. Miscible liquids means those liquids that can mix among each other. There is immiscible liquids also. Immiscible means that cannot mix among each other, like oil and water. They do not mix among each other. And gases are easily diffusible. Next characteristics is the fluidity, means to flow. To flow. Solid cannot flow. If you keep solid at one place, it will remain there. It will not move here and there itself. It cannot flow. But liquid can flow. If you pour a glass of water on a table, it will spread on the whole table. If you pour the glass of water on the floor, it will spread all over the floor. Because why? Because it can flow. Why it can flow? Because it has an intermolecular space. So molecules are far apart from each other. Force of attraction is less, so it can easily flow. Now gases can flow very highly. Okay, because it has large intermolecular space and least intermolecular force. So gases can also easily flow. So solid cannot flow, liquid can flow, gases can also flow. Okay, so these are the characteristics of the three different states of matter and difference or comparison between the three states of matter on the basis of their characteristics. Read this all. Okay, next, come to the next topic now, that is the kinetic molecular theory. Okay students, now come to the next topic, that is kinetic molecular theory. What does this theory tells us? This theory, kinetic molecular theory of matter, enables us to understand the behavior of molecules in any matter. As we know, the matters are made up of atoms, molecules or ions. So how do these molecules behave in any matter? This we understand by the theory called kinetic molecular theory. It has some postulates. So let us see the postulates of kinetic molecular theory. First postulates, composition of matter. How is matter composed of? What it is made up of? We have discussed earlier. Any matters are made up of atoms, molecules or ions. And all these particles in any matter are always identical. If matter is made up of particular kind of particles, maybe of the same kind of atoms, maybe of same kind of molecules or ions. So whatever these particles present in any matter, they are always similar in all respects. So composition of matter, any matter is composed of molecules or atoms or ions, and all these molecules in a given substance are identical. They are always identical. Okay. Now next property, next postulate is intermolecular space. Intermolecular space. I have told you about this earlier. Space, intermolecular space is the gap between the molecules in any matter. Empty space between the molecules, any number of any molecules in any states of matter. Okay. So we know in solid, intermolecular space is very less, almost negligible, and the liquid has more intermolecular space, and the gases have highest intermolecular space. Next postulate is intermolecular force of attraction. Intermolecular force of attraction. For intermolecular force of attraction means it's attractive force that act between the two molecules in any matter, that keep them together, that keep them or hold them together. Higher the force, more closer will be the molecules. In solid, particles are very close to each other. The solid has highest intermolecular force of attraction, and this force of attraction decreases in liquid, and it is very least in the gases, because in the gases molecules are very far from each other. Intermolecular space is high, so its intermolecular force of attraction is very least in gases, but solid has the highest intermolecular force of attraction. Now this intermolecular force of attraction is of two types. Force of attraction between the same kind of molecules is called cohesive force. In same type of molecules. same type of molecules. Force of attraction between the same kind of molecule, same type of molecules is called cohesive force. Like if you take an example of a iron, it will have all the atoms of iron, or if you take the example of water, it will have only the molecules of water. So all the molecules in water will attract each other, all the atoms in any metal will attract each other. I told you about the iron. Iron is made up of only atoms of iron. The atoms of iron will attract each other. So these are all similar kind of particles in a particular matter, and force of attraction between the similar kind of particles in any matter is called cohesive force. Second is adhesive force. It is the force of attraction between the different types of molecules. Between different types of molecules. Okay? So these are the two different types of intermolecular force of attraction, cohesive force and adhesive force. Clear? Now come to the next postulates, that is movement and kinetic energy. Okay? Now come to the next postulates of kinetic molecular theory, that is collision of molecules. As I told you, all these matters consist of molecules. So molecules in any matter, they are always colliding with each other, especially in the liquid and gases. As intermolecular space is more, these molecules move randomly here and there, so they keeps on colliding with each other, as well as with the wall of the container in which it is kept. We will store a liquid in a container, we will store a gas in a container. So the molecules in this matter collide with each other, as well as with the wall of the container in which it is kept. Okay? And because of this, they exert a pressure on the wall of the container in which it is kept. So this is the fourth postulate, collision of molecules in the states of matter. Next postulate is movement of molecules and kinetic energy. Movement of molecules and kinetic energy. Okay? Let us me ask you one question. What is kinetic energy? Energy due to motion. Kinetic energy is energy due to motion. Especially any particles possess mainly two types of energy, kinetic energy and potential energy. So kinetic energy is due to the movement, due to the motion. As I told you that molecules, so the particles in any state of matter are in always motion. They are in random motion. They move constantly. They keep on moving, and because of this, they gets a motion. And because of this motion, they possess kinetic energy. Now, if you compare this kinetic energy in the three states of matter, in solid, kinetic energy is least. Kinetic energy is least. Why? Because in solid, particles are tightly packed. They have very least, almost negligible intermolecular space. So the molecules in particles do not move far away from each other. They just only vibrate at their mean position. And because of these small vibrations, they possess a least amount of kinetic energy. If you come in the liquid, liquid has more kinetic energy than solid. Why? Because in liquid, molecules are far, intermolecular space is more, so they get more space for the movement, and as the movement will increase, kinetic energy will also increase. So liquid has more kinetic energy than solid. If you see the gas has the highest kinetic energy. Why? Because in gas, intermolecular space is very large, as comparing to solid and liquid. So molecules in the gases get more space for movement. They move randomly here and there, and thus they move with more, because of more space they move more faster, so they possesses more kinetic energy. So this is the difference in the kinetic energy of the three states of matter. Solid has least kinetic energy. Solid has least kinetic energy. Liquid has more kinetic energy than solid, and gases has the highest kinetic energy. Okay? These are the postulates of kinetic molecular theory. Now let us come to the next topic. Okay, students, now let us come to the next topic, that is all these three states of matter are interchangeable. Means one state of matter can change into one form to another. Solid can change into liquid, liquid can change into gas. On reversing, gas can change into liquid, liquid can change into solid. How it is possible? It is possible due to change in temperature and pressure. If the temperature and pressure of the states of the matter will change, they changes from one state to another state. It is one form to another form. Let us see how. Solid on heating will change into liquid. How? What will happen on heating? Means the temperature will increase. On heating, the particles will get more energy, and after getting the more energy, they vibrate more faster. And as they will vibrate more faster, they will escape the intermolecular force of attraction. They will overcome the force of attraction by gaining the more energy, and they will move apart from each other. They will move far from each other. And as they will move far, their intermolecular space will increase. And so the molecule, that states of matter will change from one form to another form. So solid can change into liquid by heating. Same way liquid can change into gas by heating. Same thing will happen on heating. These molecules of the liquid will get more energy, so they will move more faster, and because of this movement their space will increase more, and thus it will change from one state to another state. On vice versa, on reverse, if you see, the gas can change into liquid, that is by cooling. On cooling, its energy will decrease, and if we apply the pressure, the molecules will come closer. The space which was far, on cooling, energy will be less. Now applying the pressure, molecules will come closer, and as the molecules will come closer, space, intermolecular space will decrease, and the gas will change into liquid. How? By cooling. It is by decreasing the temperature. Same way liquid can also change into solid by same process, by cooling, by decreasing the temperature. Same thing will happen. By cooling, the energy will decrease, and applying the pressure, molecules will come more closer and closer. Intermolecular space will become very, very less, and thus solid will change into liquid. Now, this change in state from one form to another form has a specific name. This phenomenon has a specific name. What is that? Solid to liquid. Change of state from solid to liquid by heating is called melting. It's called melting. Like you take a ice. If you heat the ice, it will melt and change into the water. Okay? The solid, on absorbing the heat, it will melt and change into the water. Liquid state. So change in state from solid to liquid is called melting. Then change in state from liquid to gas. It will also happen by heating, by applying the heat energy. The liquid on heating, it will change into gaseous state. And this phenomenon is called evaporation or boiling. Evaporation or boiling. Okay? So on heating, the states of matter is changing from one form to another form. It has a specific name. Solid to liquid is called melting. Liquid to gas is called evaporation or boiling. Now, on reverse, on changing the condition, gas can change into liquid. How? By cooling. And the phenomenon from which that gas changes into liquid is called condensation. It's called condensation. It is because of this condensation only the cloud is formed and we get the rain. The water from the different sources, water bodies due to heat changes into vapor and rises up. When they go up into the air, they cool down, condense and changes into the cloud. So gas can change into liquid by condensation. Okay. Now liquid can change into solid. This is called freezing. Very simple example, in the home you are having fridge. You put the water in the fridge and we decrease that temperature. By decreasing, the liquid water changes into the solid ice. That is called freezing. The change of state from liquid to solid is called freezing. Okay. Now another important factor, there are some solids that can directly change from solid to gas without coming into the liquid state. From solid they can directly change into the gas, or from gas they directly change into the solid, like naphthalene ball. So such type of solids which can directly change from solid to gas, this phenomenon is called sublimation. This is called sublimation. This solid, some solid, not all solids, there are some solids which can heating or they can directly change from solid to gas, like camphor. So when you burn, it changes into the gas directly without coming into the liquid state. Okay, so we can say the states of matter, all these three states of matter are interchangeable. How? By changing the temperature and pressure. Okay, to revise this too much. Now let us come to the last topic of this chapter, that is law of conservation of mass. Okay students, so now come to the next last topic of our lesson, that is law of conservation of mass. Let us see what is law of conservation of mass. This law of conservation of mass, law of conservation of mass was given by a famous scientist and chemist, Antoine Lavoisier. How he gave this law? Let us see. See, I told you that states of matter are interchangeable. They change from one form to another form. But there is an important point to remember. Their molecules do not change. Like if you heat ice, it will melt and change into water. But ice also has the molecules of water, and the water, that ice which has changed into liquid state in the form of water, it also has the molecules of water, it is H2O. Ice also has molecules H2O, which is in solid state. Now this ice change into liquid state water, it also has molecules H2O, and now on heating this liquid, it will change into gas. That heating this water, it will change into gaseous form, that is steam or water vapor. It will also have the same molecule H2O. So what do we see here? When a matter is changing from one state to another state, its molecule is always remaining same. Okay? So molecules during change of states of matter remain same. Then what changes takes place? When we are observing that a matter is changing from one form to another form, its molecules are not changing. Then what are changing? The thing that changes are its intermolecular space. What changes? The changes that take place is intermolecular space. It is because of the increase in the space only solid is changing into the liquid. Then second changes is arrangement of molecules. How molecules has been, as a space is increasing, the arrangement will change. Then movement of molecules. If space will increase, movement will also increase. So during change in states of any matters, molecules does not changes. What changes? Its intermolecular space, its intermolecular arrangement and movement of molecules. This means the mass of the substances always remain same. That means before or after the change will always remain same, because the number of molecules are not changing, they are always remaining identical. So on this basis, he gave the law, that is law of conservation of mass, which says that this law of conservation of mass says that matter can neither be created. What it is? Matter can neither be created nor it can be destroyed during any change. During any change, it can only remain, matter can neither be created nor it can be destroyed during any change or during any reaction. During any reaction, matter can neither be created nor it can be destroyed during any reaction. It can only change from one form to another. It can only change from one form to another. Okay? What does this say? Law of conservation of mass, that the matter is neither created nor it can be destroyed. It can only change from one form to another. Okay? Therefore, the total mass of the substances before change and total mass of the substance after change always remain same. This is the law of conservation of mass. Okay, so this is our last topic, students. Whatever we have studied in this chapter, go through it. In the next video, I will give you some question answers for practice. Till then, revise this all. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day. Take care of yourself.